Hi students, welcome back to our English class. In the last class, we went through the summary of the short story The Scholarship Jacket written by Martha Salinas. You know, an award is a mark of recognition in honor of one's excellence in a certain field. Do you dream of getting such award? Okay, here in the story, the narrator speaks about the obstacles she had to encounter to make her dream come true. The scholarship jacket. Martha went to a small Texas school. The school had a tradition that carried out every year. It was the 8th grade graduation. A student who had maintained the highest grades for 8 years was awarded a beautiful gold and green jacket, the scholarship jacket. It had a big gold S on the left front side and the name written in golden letters on the pocket. Martha's sister Rosie had won the jacket a few years back. That is why Martha also expected this award. She was 14 and in the 8th grade. As she was a straight A student from the first grade, she dreamed of owning that jacket. Martha's father was a farm laborer. He couldn't earn enough money to feed 8 children. So, when Martha was 6, she was given to her grandparents to look after. The registration fees, uniform cost, and the trips out of town for sports were very expensive. So, they couldn't participate in sports. Even though their family was quite agile and athletic, there was no school sports jacket for them because they had no money to spend. So, their only chance was this scholarship jacket. The graduation was given in May when the spring fever had spread everywhere. As it was the last few days of the school, the students were not interested to attend the class and they needed to speed up the time in school. Martha despaired every time she looked in the mirror. She appeared as a pencil thin without any curve. She was called as bean pole and string bean because that is what she looked like. Absent-mindedly, thought like this, she walked from the history class to the gym. It was another hour of sweating in basketball and showing her toothpick legs. Then she remembered that her PE shorts were in a bag under her desk where she had forgotten them. She had to walk all the way back to get them. Coach Thompson was strict with the PE shorts. The coach had said that Martha had a good forward. She even tried to persuade Grandma to let Martha join the team, but Grandma refused. She was almost back at the classroom when she heard some sort of arguments in angry voices. She stopped there without knowing what to do. She needed those shoes. She was getting late, but she didn't mean to hear the conversation secretly or to interrupt in the argument between the teachers. She recognized the voices. It was Mr. Schmidt, the history teacher, and Mr. Boone, math teacher. They were arguing about Martha. She couldn't believe it. Hearing this, she was shocked that she wanted to flat against the wall as if she were trying to blend with the graffiti written there. They were arguing as to whom the scholarship jacket should be awarded. Martha was heartbroken as she listened to her teacher speak. Mr. Schmidt refused to give the jacket to Joan, stating that Martha had clearly excelled in her grades. He also refused to lie or falsify the records to make Joan eligible. He angrily defended Martha, asserting that she had a straight A+ average. Mr. Boone was left speechless initially, but he reminded Mr. Schmidt of the fact that John's father was a member of the board and that he was very influential. Martha said that she could not hear the rest of what he said clearly, but she could hear some words here and there. That was Martha is Mexican. Mr. Schmidt rushed down the opposite way and went to the auditorium. He did not see her. During the course of the conversation, what came as a severe blow to Martha was the reference of her being a Mexican. The remark shattered Martha, which brought into her mind feelings of discrimination. Martha was totally shaking. She waited for a few minutes and ran into the room and collected her bag. Mr. Boone saw her, but he did not say anything. To this day, she didn't remember how she got through the PE. She went home very sad. She cried into the pillow so that grandmother would not hear her. It seemed a cruel coincidence that she had overheard that conversation. The next day, when the principal called her into his office, she knew what it would be about. He looked uncomfortable and unhappy. She decided she wasn't going to make it any easier for him, so she looked him straight in the eyes. He looked away and, nervous, he went through the papers on his desk. The principal informed her that there had been a change in policy that year regarding the scholarship jacket. It had always been free, but from this year, the board has decided to charge $15, which was the expense of the jacket. We'll discuss the rest of the story in the next class. Let's go through the difficult words and its meanings. Tradition means a belief or custom. Agile means one that can move quickly. With a vengeance means to a greater degree than expected. Despair means to lose hope. Argument, a conversation or discussion in which two or more people disagree often angrily. Eavesdrop means listen something secretly. Graffiti, writings on wall. Falsify, make something false. Coincidence means two things happening at the same time by chance. Fidget means keep moving the body because of nervousness. Founting means hitting hard. Now it's time for reading. The small Texas school that I went to had a tradition carried out every year during the 8th grade graduation. A beautiful gold and green jacket was awarded to the class valedictorian, the student who had maintained the highest grades for 8 years. The scholarship jacket had a big gold S on the left front side and your name written in golden letters on the pocket. My old sister Rosie had won the jacket a few years back, and I fully expected to also. I was 14 and in the 8th grade. I had been a straight A student since the first grade, and this last year had looked forward very much to owning that jacket. My father was a farm laborer who couldn't earn enough money to feed 8 children. So, when I was 6, I was given to my grandparents to raise. We couldn't participate in sports at school because there were registration fees, uniform cost, and trips out of town. So, even though our family was quite agile and athletic, there would never be a school sports jacket for us. This one, the scholarship jacket, was our only chance. In May, close to graduation, spring fever had struck as usual with a vengeance. No one paid any attention in class. Instead, we stared out of the windows and at each other, wanting to speed up the last few weeks of school. I despaired every time I looked in the mirror. Pencil thin, not a curve anywhere. I was called beanpole and string bean, and I knew that's what I looked like. That really wasn't much for a 14-year-old to work with, I thought as I absent-mindedly wandered from my history class to the gym. Another hour of sweating in basketball and displaying my toothpick legs was coming up. Then I remembered my PE shorts were still in a bag under my desk where I had forgotten them. I had to walk all the way back and get them. Coach Thompson was a real bear if someone wasn't dressed for PE. She had said I was a good forward and even tried to talk Grandma into letting me join the team once. Of course, Grandma said no. I was almost back at my classroom door when I heard voices raised in anger as if in some sort of argument. I stopped. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I just hesitated, not knowing what to do. I needed those shots and I was going to be late. But I didn't want to interrupt an argument between my teachers. I recognized the voices: Mr. Schmidt, my history teacher, and Mr. Boone, my math teacher. They seemed to be arguing about me. I couldn't believe it. I still remember the feeling of shock that rooted me flat against the wall, as if I were trying to blend in with the graffiti written there. I refuse to do it. I don't care who her father is. Her grades don't even begin to compare to Martha's. I won't lie or falsify records. Martha has a straight A plus average and you know it. That was Mr. Schmidt, and he sounded very angry. Mr. Boone's voice sounded calm and quiet. Look, John's father is not only on the board, he owns the only store in town. We could say it was a close tie, and the pounding in my ears drowned out of the rest of the words. Only a word here and there filtered through. Martha is Mexican. Resign. Won't do it. Mr. Smith came rushing out and luckily for me went down the opposite way towards the auditorium so he didn't see me. Shaking, I waited a few minutes and then went in and grabbed my bag and fled from the room. Mr. Boone looked up when I came in but didn't say anything. To this day, I don't remember if I got in trouble in PE for being late or how I made it through the rest of the afternoon. I went home very sad and cried into my pillow that night so grandmother wouldn't hear me. It seemed a cruel coincidence that I had overheard that conversation. The next day, when the principal called me into his office, I knew what it would be about. He looked uncomfortable and unhappy. I decided I wasn't going to make it any easier for him. So I looked him straight in the eyes. He looked away and fidgeted with the papers on his desk. Martha, he said, there has been a change in policy this year regarding the scholarship jacket. As you know, it has always been free. He cleared his throat and continued. This year, the board has decided to charge $15, which still won't cover the complete cost of the jacket. That's all for today. We will discuss the rest of the story in the next class. Read the textbook well. Thank you.